motion. I am going to put a question. I put a question that the House resolves itself to a committee of the whole House to consider the motion. Those are names. The ayes have it. Honorable members, we are looking at now. Honorable members.
Yes, but
Honorable members, first sit.
Chair, we can only debate when you are in the chair. As Speaker, we can debate when you are in the chair as Speaker.
Honorable members, this is a committee of the whole House. If to debate the motion, it is a committee of the whole House to debate the motion.
Madam Chair, I would like to give some clarification. When the bill is returned,
honorable members, after this, we shall go for a committee of supply. And I don't want you to imagine that we're in a committee of supply. We are having a committee of the whole House.
Madam Chair, what I wanted to say, just to help the House move forward.
Listen to Justice.
Yes. So, Madam Speaker and the House had the opportunity to refer this return bill to the Budget Committee. But we decided that it should be referred to the Committee of the whole House. So what we are doing now is as if the Budget Committee in quotes is sitting to receive from the Minister detailed justification, and then thereafter
chaired by the Speaker.
Yes, chaired by the Speaker and report. So
who is the chair now?
Yes, the Speaker is the chair. So there is no contradiction. The Minister of Finance right now should now come as if he's presenting to the budget of the reallocations one by one, and the House will interrogate, ask documents, and take a decision, and then we will come back.
Thank you.
Procedure. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Madam Chair. Because what we are...
You are the shadow. Can you first hear from the main minister, then you come and respond.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I beg the indulgence of the House. Since I'm now presenting the same way we normally do in the Budget Committee, Madam Speaker, Madam Chair, on 16th of May 2024, when Parliament considered the appropriations bill, we made a number of adjustments. And these adjustments were made, but the President was not satisfied, and as a result of that, he returned the bill for consideration and requested that the reallocated amounts by Parliament be reinstated. And I wish to take Parliament through the details of these numbers. Under vote,
Thank you very much. Madam Speaker, Honorable Sassi, the Speaker has allowed me. Thank you, Madam Chair.
The minister is referring to it, which he is reading, but it is not, we are not privy to the document. As members of parliament, we're going to make a decision.
Where is your iPad?
I have it here, it is not there.
Give them to help
It's
you
not there.
operate it.
Maybe,
No,
would
give
it
the IT
be-
people to help you.
Madam, can they project it as we always do?
Use your iPad.
As preamble, that the appropriation we did was not okay with the president in some areas. But Madam Chair, I want to remember that while at Kororo, during the budget speech day, the president from his words gave you a lot of praises as the speaker, the Minister of Finance as the minister, and Parliament as Parliament for the appropriation we did, which he was very happy with, and he said for the first time we made the budget which was pro-people. And all his statements are unanswered.
Honorable.
Are unanswered. So now, where does the minister get the audacity of saying the president was not happy with what we did, yet he gave us a lot of praises, he was very happy with the budget we passed? What happened? What went wrong?
Honorable members.
Can we go ahead when we have those on the handset without being expunged? What happened?
Honorable members. On this budget, it is basically realignment in some departments, in some sectors.
On a procedure note, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, my point of order from the NRM side knows that we are dealing with a president who is 80 years old. Is he in order not to know that all people keep forgetting?
On the procedure note,
Madam Chair, I move procedure mode. On a procedure note, I move to inform this House on the procedure note that the matter before us borders criminality, and it is a matter that is unprecedented all over the African continent. Right, Honorable Speaker, so Madam Chair, we are proceeding in a manner that convinces me as though we are covering up some of the people for the wrongs they did in this. I was convenient
Just a minute.
if we were to move
Honorable.
this business.
Doctor, do you want to say that returning a bill is criminal?
Madam Chair,
I want to
as
refer-
we speak, the budget committee is a crime scene.
Listen.
Members have been.
Can you sit down? Sit down. I want to refer you to article. Sit. To assent to the bill, which he has done. When you start talking and castigating a committee, that budget was not passed by a committee of budget alone. It was passed by this House. It was passed by this House. Please sit down.
Madam Speaker, Madam Chair,
I am saying sit down.
on the procedure matter, my
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I would like us to get clear to each other and fair to each other. When you call budget committee a scene of crime and corrupt, let's come out clear. Who does what in the process of budgeting? A budget comes to the House. Allow me to speak, because you are speaking, I didn't interfere with you.
First allow.
Procedure. Procedure, Madam.
First sit. First sit.
Okay, okay.
First sit.
Honorable colleagues, I have come through a chair. So colleagues, the issue is simple. Let's remind ourselves the process of budgeting so that we point a finger and identify enemy correctly. So let's remind ourselves that a budget comes to the floor. When it comes to the floor, it's referred to sectoral committees. Which sectoral committees interrogate the budget seriously with the entities responsible. The sectoral committees make reports to the floor, which floor debates the sectoral reports and recommendations and refers all of them to budget committee for harmonization, reconciliation, and make recommendations. Colleagues, we must all get informed that any recommendations made by budget committee are parts of the reports from the sector committees. And for your information, we started from the budget framework paper, which is budget framework paper recommendations were up to 20. Why don't you want me to bring this out? Why don't you want this to come clear? No, I'm not debating. I have not gone to the bill. I have a right to talk as a member. I have a right. Why? I will not sit down on your orders. I can't.
Honorable members, Honorable Leon, allow the chair to finish.
No. Why is it becoming bitter when we are bringing the issues clear? Now, colleagues, we start with and the process of recommendations. We capture recommendations for unfunded priorities. The unfunded priorities are presented by ministers. The ministers present a budget framework paper with recommendations to the sector committees.
Honorable Chair.
And the total for, right honorable, let's get it clear. The total for budget framework paper recommendations was about 23 trillion for unfunded priorities.
Honorable Chair.
Now, by the time the budget estimates came, again the same process and the recommendations, we shall come to that. Hold on first.
Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair. Chair. Honorable Chair. First give him to present.
Honorable Chair, I have had the Honorable Chair budget.
Honorable Minister, can you give us justification? Honorable Minister.
Madam Speaker,
Honorable members.
Madam Chair, I wish to present the justification for reinstating the funds that were reallocated by Parliament on the budget for financial year 2024-2025. And specifically, under vote 008, there was transfer to other government units, specifically capitalization of Uganda Development Bank, 30 billion. Our justification to reinstate this is that UDB is still undercapitalized. As at the end of December 2023, UDB's pipeline of approved projects was worth Uganda shillings 1 trillion to be invested in key priorities of wealth creation, agro-processing, value addition, manufacturing, tourism, and mineral beneficiation. It will also support youth-led enterprises, manufacturers, and provide working capital for exporters and those involved in import substitution. Another area of reduction was transfer to other government units, capitalization of agricultural credit facility, 20 billion. Our justification for reinstatement is that the agricultural credit facility is undercapitalized and yet is supporting the agro-industrialization program. The funds required to finance the approved pipeline loans at BOU amounting to 154 billion against the cash of Uganda shilling 79 billion. The agricultural credit facility escrow account in Bank of Uganda is therefore in a deficit of Uganda shilling 74 billion. The agricultural credit facility supports agricultural projects to access patient capital for commercial, on-farm investment, post-harvest management, agro-processing, and trade in agricultural produce. We have, under Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, there was an amount cut from liquefied petroleum gas supply and infrastructure intervention of 25 billion. And these funds are required to meet ongoing contractual obligations for liquefied petroleum gas LPG promotional kits, service providers, and other LPG interventions such as Hoima LPG storage terminal land. There is also 6.8 billion under Namaveth thermal power, and these funds are required for capacity payments for the operations of Namaveth thermal power plant for energy security. There is also 4 billion reduced from the mineral regulation infrastructure project, and these are funds required to commence establishment of mineral regulations and revenue collection infrastructure and implementation of the minerals law. These include way bridges and government-regulated markets for precious stones, etc. Under the same vote, Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, there was a reduction of 15 billion from rural electrification and connectivity projects. These funds amounting to 15 billion. These funds are required to kickstart works on the major 7 construction lots, and the 7 lots include the following. Under batch 1 is the Eastern Service Territory, including West Budama South, Tororo South, and the Tororo Municipality in Tororo District, Parisa County, and Gogonyo in Parisa District. Under batch 2, still in the Eastern Service Territory, covers areas of Usiki in Namutumba, Bukori South in Bujiri, Kamuli District, Kachumbara in Bukedea District, Mbale Northern Division, and Bungoko in Mbale District and Serere District. Road 3, Northwest Service Territory for Buyanja East in Chivale District, Bugangei South in Kakumiro District, Buhaguzi in Hoima City, Chikube, and Buyaga East in Kagadi District. Under Road 4 of West Nile, Central North, and North Service Territory for Ora area in Zombo, Guru Alinga South in Yumbe, Dokoro District, and Lira East in Lira District. West, South, and Southwestern Service Territory for Shema, Ruhinda in Mitoma, Isinjiro, Rubanda, Ibanda, and Soro districts. Western, Central, and Gwenzori Service Territory for Busongora North in Kasese, Fort Poto Central in Kabarore, Chankwanzi, and Bunyangabu districts. Central Service Territory for Bale in Kayunga, Mukono South in Mukono, Butambara, Bukoto East in Masaka, and Chiboga districts. In addition, Madam Chair, these funds are required to commence works of enhancing the SME framework priority interventions for small factories and cottage industries across the country. The SMEs framework intervention is aimed at reducing the turnaround time for electricity connection to SMEs.
Board members, can you please listen so that you will be able to debate? Isu.
We have the subvention under Ministry of Energy called Atomic Council for Council Expenses and Administrative Expenses. This was reduced by 10 billion, and these funds are required to meet staff and operational costs, including salaries, gratuity, rent for office premises, utilities such as water, electricity, security, and cleaning services. We have another subvention called distribution and land management, land acquisition. This was reduced by 10 billion, and the justification for reinstatement is that the energy transmission and distribution is a top priority of government, and these are funds to undertake projects aimed at transmitting energy from Karuma and substations. These funds are also required for compensation of project-affected persons for a number of projects, as well as to undertake critical feasibility studies aimed at increasing electricity transmission and distribution. The major projects include the 345 kilometers of Karuma-Tororo 400 kV transmission line and Ntinda substation for Namanve, residual compensation works for Karuma and Simba HPPs, Itanda and Karagara special conservation areas, and other projects for feasibility studies in generation, transmission, nuclear, and minerals. Under Directorate of Ethics and Integrity, vote 112 on a sub-program called Ethics and Integrity, General Administration and Support, 5 billion was taken away, and our justification for returning it back is that the funds were allocated to strengthen the adjudication of Leadership Code Act. In addition, the funds are needed to publish the National Anti-Corruption Survey report on the perception and prevalence of corruption. Next, the country's credit rating score internationally, which is a benchmark for our multilateral partners. Vote 130, Treasury operations. Under commitment fees, 25 billion was taken away, and our justification to return it or reinstate it is that these are contractual obligations for the loans we have acquired for the implementation of key projects where we have not fully absorbed the funds. Therefore, the projections for the financial year 2024-25 are based on existing loan stock plus agreements that will be entered in the financial year 2024-2025. Under Code 242003, an item called Others, 300 billion was taken away, and these are funds for government obligations under the share subscription agreement in servicing local bills of exchange and payment of EFT bank charges to Bank of Uganda, among others. Under item 242002, interest on treasury bonds, an amount of 100 billion was taken away, and our justification for reinstatement is that we have increased government borrowing to cater for the priorities in the core agenda, and increase in domestic debt refinancing led to the increase in the interest on treasury bond issuances. In financial year 2024-25 budget, interest costs increased due to the increase in debt refinancing from Uganda shillings 8.36 trillion in financial year 2023-24 to Uganda shillings 12.02 trillion in financial year 2024-25, and an increase in net domestic borrowing from Uganda shillings 6.67 trillion in financial year 2023-24 to Uganda shillings 8.97 trillion in financial year 2024-2025. Under item of contingency transfers, an amount of 22.74 billion was taken away, and Madam Speaker, our justification for reinstatement is that Section 26 of the PFMA Act 2015 as amended requires the contingencies fund to be allocated an amount equivalent to 0.5% of the appropriated annual budget for government of the previous financial year. As such, Uganda shillings 169 billion